again. We seem to be having technical difficulties, or rather, I seem to be having technical difficulties. I don't know if this video will hold, but I'm stubborn. I refuse to give up. So, here we go again. So I made a little bit of progress while I wasn't recording, and I now have enough stuff to make a raft. I'm gonna show you how much you can gain by making a raft, how many levels you get out of it. So I put all my levels into my stats. I am now at level 49. It's best to make the raft early, you get more levels for it, but if I make the raft right now, I get 13 levels for that. On official it's a lot lower, but it's easily worth 2 or 3 levels to make a raft in official, so that's a great way to level up. Now that we've got a raft, it's time to build onto it. Would be wood we need. Thanks for joining. I'll warn you ahead of time, I've been having technical difficulties. This broadcast may suddenly cut out. I keep getting messages where the PlayStation Network and my Wi-Fi connection both quit on me. But I'm praying this one will hold. So that gives me enough stuff to make one. Apparently I need more fiber. If you follow me, you'll start swimming around the ocean, so you're gonna stay there. If my connection does fail, I apologize, but I thank you for coming to watch what you can. I've got the foundation placed. So now I do not need the sail anymore. I can hide the sail. I held down triangle, went to options with the left analog stick, and that allows you to change name and hide or unhide the sail pretty much. Gathering some fiber, since it's a material I'm going to need a lot of to build this boat. The raft works just fine as it is, but if you know what you're doing, it makes a nice starter base. Now, I have an extinction recording that went for about 3 hours, but I found that extinction was going to be too much grinding, since it doesn't have traditional drops like this server does. So this is a fresh new start, and I'm going to show anyone who's not familiar with the game how to play without tech. I will need cryopods and cryofridges, because if you don't have them, the number of tames you get will build up, and eventually they will start lagging the server when you have too many. The cryopod allows you to control the number of tames you have out. So these work the way they're supposed to. Yes, they do. Sometimes if you don't place them just right, they don't snap properly. Moving on to ceilings. Oh, it was only 4? I thought it was 14. Well, guess I misread that. Need some food since I'm starving. I think that's about 100. And yes, I did run out of wood. So, in Extinction, I spent about 3 hours harvesting and gathering so I could build a 4x4 wooden base. With all of the recordings I've done, we're about, I'd say, 45 minutes in. And we're starting with this 5x5 raft. Cumbered, so I've got what I can for now. Put these levels in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 2000. I'm gonna start with Fortitude early because on most maps you don't need a lot of Fortitude, but I have tested this map extensively, and there's a region called the Death Snow, which I'll get to later. But in the Death Snow, if you go through the Death Snow naked in a blizzard, you need a minimum of 560 Fortitude to survive it, and you'll still have a snowflake, which means you're cold. If you're under 560 fortitude in the death snow in worst case scenario, you freeze to death. But when we left Extinction, our level was a little bit over 70, somewhere under 80. As you can see, I'm less than an hour into my RAG no-tech tutorial, and I'm almost where I left off after 3 hours of gameplay in Extinction. So, what's that? Sloped wooden roof? No. There we go. Ramp. Some more ceilings. Put the points into health. So, if you are new to Ark, one thing I'd like to make clear is that when I level up, I automatically learn the engrams, the crafting things. This is called B auto unlock all engrams equals true. It's coding that you put into your server. It does not normally apply to official servers or single player. You have to actually choose which engrams you want to learn. I have a couple of tames. I killed my last survivor that I used on Extinction so I could demonstrate how much easier it is to play this map. And I unclaimed the tames before I killed myself and claimed them with this survivor. Because ultimately this survivor is a continuation of what I started on Extinction. I've got a bulb dog. I've got my favorite cinema crops, which allows you to fly, glide, and it also acts as a parachute. It's a very handy creature. Downside is it only eats chitin, or chitin, depending on what the actual pronunciation is or how you prefer to say it. So it can starve easily, which is why I'm mostly jumping and running. Now, you saw that ramp sort of twitching. Those are all the different ways you can snap it. Snap points. I'm glad to see that my broadcast is holding at the moment. I forgot it's not following me. The way you change snap points when you put a structure down, a building structure specifically, you can press R1 or you can press triangle. Either one will change the snap point that it's trying to attach to. Now that I've got the ramp, I can bring the bulb dog on. I could carry the bulb dog on my shoulder. It's called a shoulder pet. But I already have the cinema crops I was just showing off. I can only have one shoulder pet at a time. And what am I low on? I'm low on wood. That is not surprising. How many more arrows can I make? Quite a few arrows. I don't need that many, so I'll wait. Where I was on Extinction, where I was building and where I was gathering resources, harvesting, it took quite a bit longer to build what I did. If you feel inclined, you could just skim through the 3-hour broadcast I did, because it's mostly me looking for wood, stone, fiber, and thatch. You'll see it took quite some time. This build is going to take a little while, but it's going to be a lot quicker. The strategy I'm using is one I've also used quite a few times in single player mode. On this map, specifically. I like to start off with this raft because where I actually build my main base is a ways off. As I said in a few of my earlier broadcast attempts, I'm more of a PvE player. Oh, I don't want that there. Actually, I've got other plans for that one. I'm more of a PvE player. If I were to go to a PvP server that I don't own, I would die rather quickly. I own this map and the cluster. There are 2 maps I do not technically own because my friends bought them. I code them, so I guess you could say I'm a co-owner, but I can't take all the credit for them. Nonetheless, I run a cluster, a PvP cluster, because when you breed dinos and other tames on PvE, you can't kill the babies if you don't like them. The problem with that is the more teams you have, the more likely you are to lag the server. Which is why I have a slight exception to my no-tech tutorial. I am going to have cryopods and cryofridges to control the amount of dinos or tames I have out. Eventually, back to breeding though. You only need so many males. You only need so many females, even. It is possible to breed multiple females with one male, but they have to be within a certain range of the male, which means eventually you'll have too many females to breed them all. So either way, you will have a limit. And when you go over that limit, in PvE, you're kind of in trouble. Even if you unclaim the dino, it does not get attacked by wild dinos in PvE. In fact, I'm not sure if unclaimed dinos get attacked in PvP either. That's why you want to be able to kill them, to control the population. So what am I short on? could get a little bit more fiber, I guess. I don't know if you're the same person that was in my first recording attempt where I got stuck in the force field. If you are, welcome back. If not, I would like to mention that there are a lot of YouTubers, especially popular YouTubers, who have pretty much covered everything on Ark you can imagine. So, I'm not looking for money, I'm not looking for popularity or fame. I'm doing this strictly for fun, and the only thing I hope to get out of this is bringing new players to Ark, really. I don't necessarily need you to smash that like button, as people say, or comment even, but bringing new players to Ark, I guess, would be my only goal, besides having fun with my broadcast. I'm a bit late with my streaming, as Ark 2 will come out within the next year or two, depending on how many more setbacks or pushbacks they have, but I don't want to have to get a $1,000 PS5 or an Xbox One to play the new Ark games, so I'm pretty much going to be staying here. I have nothing against Progress, and in spite of everything I've heard about Xbox, I'm sure there are good players out there, but I'm kinda stubborn and I don't move up quickly in the world. I don't think I even got a Nintendo Wii until it was 2007. I didn't get the Wii U until like 2010. Nah, it's a sort of side story though. So, I originally put a wall in the front, but I don't want the wall in the front because I learned a neat little trick with building on the raft. If you make wooden railings and put them in the front of the raft on top of the ceilings, and then put the ceilings above, you actually get the house benefits, the shelter benefits. With those railings there and a roof over my head, I won't experience things like hot or cold or rain.